and welcome back to another episode of the Glow Up Guide. So, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about some money stuff, mostly how to make money as a young person, considering the fact that this is all coming from a girl who's only 13 and a half. So, I'm going to fairly assume that if you're listening to this podcast episode today, you're a young person looking to make money, since just about all my listeners are in the under 17 age group. As a young person, most people are probably telling you the only way you can make real money is by getting a job at 14 or 16 or whatever. Legal working age in my state is 14, and in most states it's 14, and a few it's 16, and then some is just we don't talk about that, it's random. But yeah, that's the only way people to tell you is to make money through a real job. But what if you're a lot younger than 14, or the thought of standing in a fast food drive-through smiling at people and being, "Oh, my pleasure, hope to see you again," when seeing those people again is the last thing you want? What if you know your legs are gonna fall off from standing at said drive-through the whole dang day? What if you don't want to work in a fancy old clothing store or whatever? Before moving on, so let's insert our podcast updates and our life updates. So podcast updates, Instagram still suspended. Not surprised about that, but I finally figured out how to get how I have y'all can send me an email here and I just put my email there. I figured out how to get a link, so if you just click on the link, it just opens it up and it puts the recipient in and who it's from. And you can just type your email, and you just have to type your subject and the email. You don't have to go into Gmail, hit compose, do all that, possibly get the wrong email address, blah 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 blah. Just click the link, type an email, done. So yeah, I finally figured out how to get the email link because I've told you guys about how I'm typing my episodes. I'm doing that with Google Docs. And when I inserted my email into the description, because this is kind of a long description, so I typed it out so I can just copy and paste it later to make my life easier. So that's what I did, and it automatically created a link for me where I can just copy and paste that link from now on. So I'm super happy about that. I'm gonna update that on all my episodes once I get a chance. But that's gonna be a bit of work. But oh well. Anyway, so life updates. Pretty standard week last week. Nothing really super exciting. I'm pretty sure I mentioned on my episode, which I recorded on Monday, that my orthodontist appointment got canceled. That's supposed to be rescheduled to sometime in the coming week, this week or next week. No, I have no idea when that's gonna happen because apparently it's an insurance issue, and the insurance issue still isn't fixed. So that's gonna be an interesting time. And yeah, super standard week. The one special thing I did do, however, is there's this boba place. It's Koki Tea, and I went there with one of my friends who I think I mentioned on this podcast before. But I used to have a few classes with her last year, and we were actually pretty close. And then we just kind of drifted apart a little bit this school year, in 7th grade, because we had no classes together and we didn't really get a chance to see each other outside of school. Some of my other friends, I had no classes with them, but I saw them enough that I would genuinely say they're my close friends. I spend enough time with them to determine that. But my one friend who I went to Koki Tea with, yeah, so it was really fun. And muffins, and we played ABC Expose Me, and if you guys don't know what that is, you just search up online. There's a bunch of different versions depending on who created it. And it goes A through Z, and for each letter there's a question, and you take turns answering that question. You go A, and then and then one person answers the question, and then the next person, and the next person, and then B, same thing, blah blah blah, depending on how many people you have. But it was good. It's a great game for any gathering, honestly. If you and some of your friends are just chilling, you should do this game because it is fun, especially with someone you don't know but kind of know. Then it can also be a great way to get to know each other. But yeah, that was the one special thing I did this week. And I had the walk was not that fun because I had to walk to there in what feels was 110, and it was full sun outside. Well, no, it wasn't full sun. It was shade, but when I was 2 minutes away from there, it was super sunny. Thankfully, it was only 2 minutes, but yeah. And then my brother had a class at 5:35, and it was right near the place that I was at, the Koki Tea. And we lost track of time because we were just talking and we were waiting, and me and my friend and her niece were just the two of them were just waiting for my friend's dad to pick them up. And yeah, so I was just we were waiting there, and then I was shoot, what time is it? I'm like, got back to text my mom really quick, and then I went back to our table and I texted my mom, and she was just like, you know what? So you can either come back now and we can meet on the way, and I can give you the keys, or what you can do is since the learning center where my brother has his class is like diagonal, like you can see it from the window of the Poke Tea. She said like I could just wait there, and my mom would text me when she got to the place, and I could just meet them there. And it was less walking for me, so obviously I did the second option. So yeah, and my brother had his class. Me and my mom, we went to like Harris Teeter and Walgreens, and then we went back to pick up my brother. That was fun. I was supposed to get cocoa powder. I forgot the dang cocoa powder, so that's also interesting. I'm gonna get that later. But yeah, standard week. And then Thursday, I picked up an extra volunteering shift at my library, the local library again. So I had to help with a book club program, and no one showed up for the book club. So it was just me and one of the volunteer coordinators. We set everything up because my shift started at 6 and the program started at 6:30. Set everything up, waited for a while, and then at like 6:50 we started taking everything down, and then we were done with by like 7:10. And then she just said like, okay, well you can either dust stuff or you can go finish your shift at like the desk. And the desk is basically you just sit there and like you because there's a summer reading program going on, so you help people like sign up. And yeah, I was like, okay, I'll finish my shift at the desk because I'm allergic to dust. So I finished my shift at the desk, and there was just this one guy that looked super depressed and kept like fiddling with the sticker he found. Yeah, he just looked so sad, and I'm just like, that's great. And then he kept looking at the clock like every 5 minutes, and I'm like, dude, it's not over yet in my mind. Yeah, that was not fun. Grand old times. But yeah, then it ended at 8, and yeah, everything went fine. I mean, I have to do that for my like regular shifts, starting next Saturday, not this one, but the next one. Wait, no, coming Saturday actually. Yeah, my shifts start coming Saturday. But one of my friends is doing it with me, so I should be fine. Like I think I'll be fine. But yeah, great volunteer shift. It was not fun. And then Saturday, which every Saturday this summer has been like a super busy day. Like there's always something happening on Saturdays. I had my soccer clinic in the morning, and so I woke up late again because I did this last week too. I woke up at like 9 on the dot. I woke up at like 8:58, and then I got out of bed at 9. And my mom was just like, "Okay, I'll go downstairs and like get your stuff together." And I'm like, "Okay, thanks." So then I got myself ready, and it was like 9:20. And then we left. And the high school where these soccer clinics are held is like 8 minutes away from my house, so my dad drove me there. And then like the coaches or like the people in general, like they didn't show up, and there were just these people practicing for like maybe an adult like a track thing. I don't know, like cross country, I don't really know. So they were just like training for that or something. I'm like, okay, cool. So my dad was like, you know what we should do? We should put my dad has no experience playing soccer whatsoever. He's like, you should I should just stand in the goal and play goalie, and you should just take shots on me. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we did that for a while, and then we switched, and I cannot play goalie to save my life. All of the shots went in the goal. um, that was not fun, and it was super hot. So after like 35 minutes, I'm like, I want to leave. Can we go? And he's like, yeah, sure. We have to go to the grocery store first. So I'm like, okay, cool. So it was the Indian grocery store near our house, and they were running like their 4-year anniversary sale. So we got a bunch of food. Yay. But yeah, standard thing. And then we got home at like 10:40. My brother had a class at like 11:40. Same thing again. It's like the same learning center. He takes a coding class there on Saturdays, and then English and math on Wednesdays. And I was left home alone for like an hour. I did not know about that until I went downstairs to try and find my mom, and my parents called me on our landline phone. So yeah, I just like wrote scripts the whole time. Nothing much. And then Saturday evening, we went to a movie. It was this Indian movie that released like the very end of June, and my mom has been wanting to see that for like a week. So we went and finally saw it. It was a long movie. No, it's like the first sci-fi movie to be released, which is really cool, but it was so long. They show like random clips of other movies and try to get you to go to those too for like the first 25 minutes, and then this movie is like 3 hours and 5 minutes long. So yeah, we left there by like 9:55, and then we got Taco Bell for dinner. But it was a great movie. I was kind of zoned out half the time, and I didn't really understand it because I speak Telugu like fluently, and I can usually understand it. But if it's like other people speaking it on like YouTube or in a movie, I won't get it, so I always look at the subtitles. But even then, I was still zoned out at the time. Like, what was I supposed to understand? So yeah, and then my friend's sleepover for her birthday is this weekend, and so basically she's like her parents are like gonna drive everyone to this aquarium in Maryland at like 9, and then they're gonna get back at like 5. But I have to miss that, and I'm kind of sad because I have soccer clinic that morning, and my mom's like, "Well, you shouldn't miss that because you're already gonna miss one for our Great Wolf Lodge trip," and I'm like, "Ugh, yeah." And then I have a volunteer shift that day, and A, I don't want to leave my friend. B, it's my first volunteer shift. C, I'm gonna miss that for my gonna miss one for my Great Wolf Lodge trip also. So I really don't want to miss that, and yeah, because it's gonna be hard for them to get like a person on the desk like that soon. So yeah, I still need to send an email about that. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just gonna ask her to like text me because like my shift ends at 5 anyway. So I'm just gonna be like, hey, can you text me? And then like I'm gonna go. But yeah, that's gonna be happening this weekend, and yay! And then the weekend after this weekend is my Great Wolf Lodge trip, so I'm super duper excited. And then Amazon Prime Days are happening soon. That was really irrelevant, but yeah, I'm probably just gonna buy a ton of random things. And my mom needs a blender, which is really random, so I'm excited about that. Some online shopping time. But yeah, that's it for like life updates. So before moving on, let's do one thing we're grateful for, plus one thing we're happy about, and then our book of the week. Okay, so one thing I'm grateful for. Okay, so one thing I'm grateful for. I don't know. This is hard. The nice weather yesterday. Honestly, it was not super duper hot. Like I'm not even lying. It was well. It was still hot, but it was like not as hot as like the other days of this summer have been. So yeah, and we're in the middle of another heat wave again. So that was nice. And the one thing I'm happy about is my hair feeling like 3 pounds lighter. Because usually when my hair is dirty, I literally like slouch because my head feels heavy. Yeah, it's not fun. And then I get headaches and stuff. And just washed my hair before recording this episode, and it feels so nice. I use the same hair oil that I mentioned my mom made me use last week. And my hair feels so nice, and it's kind of drying, but still, I'm just gonna leave it down like this. And I'm also happy about the fact that I get to make pasta today. Instead of having rice for dinner because I'm bored of rice. So yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then our book of the week, I have no idea whether I've already mentioned this book on this podcast before. But it starts with us by Colleen Hoover. So this is the sequel to the book It Ends With Us, which is super popular on like Book Talk, Pinterest, and social media. But genuinely a good book. Lily, she's like the main character in this book, in these two books actually. She divorced her husband Ryle, and in this book they just settled into like a civil co-parenting rhythm with their daughter Emerson, who's about a year old. And then Lily runs into Atlas, who was her teenage boyfriend when he was like they were like Lily was what, 14 and he was 16. But yeah, and Atlas was homeless, and she runs into him nearly 2 years after they last spoke, which didn't really end well. And they're happy, like the timing seems to be right, what to give what they have together, like a true chance. So Atlas asks Lily on a date. And then Ryle hates Atlas like so much because Lily yeah, anyway. So Ryle hates Atlas, and he, even though he would still like dislike Lily dating like anyone but Ryle, Atlas is like the one person he doesn't want in his ex-wife and especially daughters' lives. So this is told from the perspectives of Lily and Atlas. It Ends With Us was told from the perspectives of Lily and Ryle. But yeah, it's like the sequel, and this is a super good book, and I really love it. And like you can feel like the pain of the characters and all that. It's such a good book. I definitely recommend you read it, and not just because of like social media influence or whatever. I genuinely think that this is a good book. All of the books I recommend on here, a lot of them are popular on like Pinterest or something, and that's where I get most of these like books from. But they're genuinely like good books, and that's why I recommend them on this podcast. So yeah. Okay, going back to our money conversation. Grand spoiler alert, I'm telling you, you don't need to have what some random adult or your own parents even would consider like a real job to be making money as a young person. There are too many other ways to make cold hard cash that aren't super basic and actually make good money. like those stupid online scam games. Like I have been constantly seeing these stupid ads for like Solitaire Cash or like Solitaire Clash. Um, that they're like, "Oh, you can win $80 in 5 minutes," and I'm like, "Shut up! No, you can't." There are literally like reviews that are like, "I won $6 in 2 hours." Yeah, you're not gonna get paid. Like you're gonna get almost nothing to suffer forever and a half, and be like, "Mom, I hate my life," because I complain to my mother all the time. So yeah, because that ain't a lot of fun. Like, I wouldn't want to do that stuff. And I mean, yeah, you may need that work experience for some things later on in life. I'm gonna get a job at some point, because that's like something you can put on a college application, you know. So yeah, you need like some kind of work experience in life. But yeah, like when you apply to college, get a resume, whatever. So you could suffer just a little bit and gain that experience and learn how the workforce is. But if that sounds like pure torture to you, that's okay. Or if you already have that experience and never want to go through that again, good for you. Point is, you don't need to have a real job to make money. There are other things that you can do that you will actually enjoy and want to do that won't be painful. Like if you start a podcast and become really successful through it, you can make money. I don't make money off this podcast yet though, but I would definitely love to at some point in the future because this is something I really love, and although it can be time consuming, I still love it. Now, I'm not saying you have to have a podcast to make money, but it's just an idea if you love to talk and are like creative and can come up with ideas for episodes and all that. Take those skills and put them to some dang use. Another way I actually do make money is from taking online surveys. So it doesn't pay super high, but if you have a ton of free time, taking online surveys can actually be a decent way to make a bit of extra money each month. It's enough for me to buy special things like some clothes that I've been eyeing on Shein, or gifts for my family without them knowing, or camera film, stuff like that. Things like selling clothes online, walking dogs, babysitting, things you can do to make a bit of money but aren't necessarily super torturous and time consuming. Another thought is internships. Internships are a great way to find certain connections in certain industries to intern there and then see if you can get a job there later on. So, this could be a cool idea if you're old enough for it. I'm not, but I'm just spitting ideas. Like, you could end up working in an art museum, and I really love art. And honestly, that sounds so cool to me. Like, you get an internship at like an art museum or something, and then you could end up working there. Like, that sounds so cool to me. Brings me to my next point, which is actually so simple. Monetize your skills. Like if you're really good at photography and photo editing, you can maybe like put up flyers or just mention it to your neighbors, family, friends, extended family, or have your parents mention it at their place of work, like that you do like photo editing and that kind of stuff. You can make money off your photos and doing something you love. Except now you get paid for that. Like win-win situation. In my opinion, monetizing your special skills is the best way to make money. Like, my mom saw the hats I used to knit on a loom and the other stuff I would knit, like scarves and other things like that, and she was like, "You know what? When you're in high school, a super fun way to make, like, extra money would be making those kinds of things and selling them on Etsy because handmade knitted items sell for, like, so much, especially crocheted items because crochet can't be done in a factory, like, it can't be done on a machine. So I really wanna learn, like, crochet and maybe crochet some stuff to, like, sell on Etsy during high school, to make a bit of extra money for college, and, it sounds fun to me. Like, I would love to sell the things I make someday. Like, I love making things, and making money off of them is just an added plus. Take your skills and figure out how to make money from them. There's always so many ways for any skill to make money off of it. Number 2, teach kids. Teaching kids can be so much fun if you like working with kids, which I do. I mean, I love working with kids and doing things with, like, little kids, entertaining them, that kind of stuff, as long as the kids aren't being a pain in my ass. So find something you're good at and teach it to a band of kids. Like, if you're, like, an all-star swimmer, just really good at swimming, you can take the test to become a swim instructor and get those licenses and maybe start with a couple of kids of your parents' friends and work your way from there. Teaching kids to swim is really great because you can charge, like, $50 per week for 1 hour long class each week. So if you took maybe 2 siblings, taught them to swim at first, that's an easy extra $100 per week. Well, you might not want to charge like that much. It depends on where you live because I know a swim school near me. I used to actually take swim lessons, me and my brother, and it would be like maybe 150, 200 per month, and it would be 1 hour long class each week. So maybe you can think from those kinds of rates, maybe set it a little bit cheaper because this isn't an actual, you're not teaching at an actual like swim school or something. But yeah, you need very minimal equipment, and swimming is fun. You can teach more kids as you go and make so much money. I think you have to be 18 or older to do this one, though. It's still fun. It still sounds fun to me. And you don't have to pay any taxes or whatever because you're too young. This is also great because you don't have to have people tell you what to do. Just do your own thing as long as you're teaching kids how to swim. Another good one is tutoring kids. I mentioned this earlier, but take a school subject you're really strong in and teach it to some kids. I'm really good at English and managed to teach my brother like some super basic English stuff when he was in like what would have been preschool because I homeschooled him then, don't me and my mom. It's kind of weird, but yeah. He got decent at it for a bit until he started school and I stopped like my homeschooling stuff and he fell back down in English. But I have thought about teaching English to kids before and I love English, so it could be fun. You could even talk to the guidance counselor in your school and see if they can help you find some tutoring opportunities or just tutor your parents' friends' kids for like a bit cheap. Yeah, this is also a great way to gain some life experience. Because like working with kids is a skill you may or may not need later on in life, depending on whether you get married and choose to have kids or not. But working with kids is like a good life skill, you know? Number three, babysitting. Perfect if you're good with kids, once again. Some of my own friends actually babysit and make decent money, about $15 an hour. Babysitting gigs can actually pay a lot more than that, though. Depends on where you live and a bunch of random factors. A lot of my parents' friends actually have young kids about my brother's age. My mom said maybe once I was older I could babysit these kids, maybe when I was like 14. Plus, taking care of these kids is a good life skill to have. You need to have some form of advertising yourself, though, because if you don't, people aren't gonna think like, XYZ would make a perfect babysitter. You have to like tell people and advertise for yourself. People are also more willing to do something if you make it easier for them. So, passing out flyers, posting an online listing, or stuff like that, having an email, that's gonna make the parents' lives easier. So they're more likely to do it. Number four, dog sitting. Let's say you don't like kids. Try dog sitting or just pet sitting. Maybe some people in your extended family or your neighbors, they have pets. Just mention to them, like, hey, if you ever need someone to watch your pet for a few hours, I love taking care of animals and would definitely love to help out. Then those people will remember it from the next time they need a pet sitter. Once you build experience taking care of your extended family's pets or your neighbors, you can take on a wider audience by posting a listing online or something like that. Number five, sell your clothes. Selling your clothes that are barely used or in good condition, or maybe clothes you got as gifts but couldn't use for some random reason. Sell those clothes instead of letting them collect dust in a bag in your closet or stuffed at the back of your dresser drawer. By far one of the best and easiest ways to make money for young people. One of my friends decided to redo her room and sold a dump ton of her old clothes and just old stuff from when she was younger and made about $800 to buy a new bed and dresser and some other small things to redo her room. You can either sell your clothes online on like Depop or Etsy or something, or just go to Plato's Closet or Goodwill near you and see if they will buy your clothes. Not a ton of effort needed, and if you have some really nice stuff like Lululemon or brand names or like nice party dresses, those will probably go for a lot of money on like Poshmark or something. Probably not as much as their original value, but better than nothing. Like, it's better than just, like, throwing the clothes out. Like, at least you get some money. I'm actually gonna go and see if my mom will, like, let me sell some of my old clothes that are, like, really nice or something. Because, like, I have a ton of old, like, party dresses, on, like, Depop or something like that. And stuff that simply refuses to sell, go donate it. Donate it. Apparently, if you have to if you end up paying taxes later in life, you can actually get write-offs for clothes you donate. But if you do donate to Goodwill or places like that, you do have to get a piece of paper stating so from them. Number six, house sitting services. Super easy. You may need to do some basic house cleaning or like watering the plants or something like that. Maybe throwing some clothes in the washer or dryer. But all super easy stuff. Remember, house sitting is super easy, but it means a high level of responsibility. You are taking care of someone else's house. You would be responsible if you accidentally broke something or if similar things happen. So be super careful if this is something you choose to do. I remember when I was maybe 11, by the way, I didn't get paid for this. My neighbors were very good friends of mine, like their kids to me, and then my my parents, like a second family almost. So they were rushed to the hospital because they were having a baby, and me and my very best friend, we got put in charge of caring for their house. We had to stay from like 12 p.m. that day till like what 4 in the morning. I don't know. My best friend left at maybe like because we were like outside and like near their house, and inside like on and off. So she left at 11 because her mom didn't want her to stay there for that long. But since I live right next door and they needed it, my parents let me stay until like 4. So after 9, my dad would like come on checking me every hour or so, bringing me food, that type of stuff. He brought me my like homework that day. But yeah, I somehow didn't fall asleep. But yeah, if you do overnights or stuff close to overnights like I did, never for strangers, like ever. Make sure to clearly state in your flyers or whatever advertising system is that you don't do overnights. Number 7, car wash. People love it when their cars are clean, but may not have the time or money to get waste on getting them washed. And washing cars is super easy as long as you don't do something stupid and like destroy the whole car. That would not be fun. But like gather a few friends and see if any of your parents would let you borrow the driveway for a bit and set up a car wash in your neighborhood. It also requires minimal effort and can be great on a hot summer day. When it gets too hot, spray yourself with the hose or just start a hose war with your friends, because why not? Create flyers on Canva and distribute them to everyone in your neighborhood. But only have like car wash designated to like maybe one day per week. Just be like, hey, we're holding a neighborhood car wash this Sunday. You guys can come if you need to get your car washed. And yeah, because you don't want to just have to wash cars every damn day of the week at random times. Maybe just like be like on your flyers, hey, we're having a neighborhood car wash this Saturday from like 2 to 8, and you guys can just like bring your car in and we will wash it. Something like that. Number 8, start a YouTube channel or podcast. If you love creating videos or talking about stuff and that seems fun to you, then start a YouTube channel or podcast. Heck, you can even create a video podcast for the combination of the two. Starting a YouTube channel can be so much fun and a great way to put your skills to use. I actually used to have a YouTube channel and still do, but it's like dead. I want to delete it, but my mom won't let me, so it stays. Let's just hope like colleges don't find that or something, because there's some embarrassing stuff on there. Well, a lot of stuff that's gonna get me like kicked out of college, but stuff from when I was like 5 and is super cringe. So like, no. But when I actually used to like doing it, it was fun. And if you grow your channel big enough, you can easily make money from it. It takes a really long time though, but who knows how far it'll go. Same goes for starting a podcast too. Mine started out of summer boredom, and although it hasn't gotten that far, it hasn't been long enough for it to really go anywhere. Plus, having a podcast or YouTube channel can be great for college applications too, as having a big one sets you apart. Number 9. One of my favorites, taking online surveys for a bit of extra cash. I know I mentioned this earlier, but now we're going to go into more detail about it. So I used to do this a lot, and now I don't really do it very often, but taking online surveys is a great way to make a bit of extra money for special treats and other fun stuff. Most survey sites also have an app you can download, so you can do them on the go or literally anywhere you get an extra couple minutes. Not gonna make you a ton of money, but some survey sites actually have surveys where like they see if you qualify for a bigger study, which can make you up to hundreds of dollars. Okay, so we're gonna sidetrack a little bit here. User interviews is a really good one. They have like focus groups and unmoderated tasks that you can do and make tons of money. I actually qualified for this thing, and it was $75 for a simple 10-minute survey. My mom helped me with it, and she kind of screwed it up, and we didn't get the money. But like, oh well. But yeah, there was this thing, and it was about like insurance, and we got $100. Me and my mom. My mom helps me with these a lot because um yeah, I basically do like the applying and stuff, and I like fill out the surveys or whatever to qualify for these things, and my mom actually does the studies. Yeah, but we got $100 just for an hour. Like, I'm not even kidding. They can make so much money. But on user interviews, you don't really qualify for any studies, but if you do, there's so many. Like, I've seen ones where you can get like $300 for an hour. I'm not even kidding. But yeah, so I have to put that in my description, but I'll see if I can get my referral link for that. But yeah, user interviews is like great. Focus groups are actually like really great. There's some other websites like focusgroups.com. For me, that one was really confusing. I like unsubscribed from them like pretty much right after signing up and looking at the website. But yeah, user interviews is really great, super simple, and if you qualify for some good ones, can make you a ton of money. So yeah. I took a survey and qualified for this focus group thing and got $35 for an hour of my time, and it was just a super simple, like, just group chat group thing. Super easy, and those studies make a ton of money. Extremely rare though. In my time of taking surveys, I've been doing this for about 2 years maybe, and I've only gotten like a focus group thing like twice, and I only qualified for that one. Survey Junkie is also one of the main ones I use, and is a well-known and reputable survey taking website. Cash out is at 500 points or $5, which is pretty easy to get to. Use my referral link in the description, which I will put out there soon, and we'll each get $15 once you cash out for the first time. Another one of my main survey taking websites is Prime Opinion. Prime Opinion is definitely my favorite out of all the ones I'm listing, because these surveys pay a lot more than Survey Junkie, and the qualification rates are super high once you take few surveys and build a good profile. Prime Opinion recently launched a new thing, actually, where you can even get paid to like play games, which I absolutely love. I made about $30 maybe from playing 2 different games on Prime Opinion. And they also have like these things where you can choose like a certain day of the week and you get 10% more points on every survey you take. and successfully complete. And they have bonus codes for like special times. I remember like during Black Friday or something, they put like a code and you got 30% more points on every survey you successfully completed. But yeah, they have those bonus codes. So use my referral link and we'll each get 100 points bonus when you first cash out. I know it seems like a super small bonus, but yeah, it's something. Plus, Prime Opinion has 3 different sign-up bonuses, each with a different payout limit. So I think the smallest one is like what you can cash out at $5. The medium one you can cash out at $10, and then the highest one you could cash out at like 25. So depending on how often you're planning to do this, choose the medium or high one. I chose the medium one, and honestly could have gotten to the highest one's payout limit in no time flat. Definitely check it out. Another one that no one knows about is Brox.ai. This one gives you surveys by email invite only, and they're only available for a short period of time. But each survey can give you up to $15, which is really good. And most of these surveys are about the smaller ones. Those usually pay about $2.50 to $5. Those take about 15-20 minutes, and the other ones, the big ones, those are about half an hour. Like some of them can even be like 45 minutes, but still, good money. Once again, it's not gonna make you rich, but it's a decent amount of money considering the fact it's just like online surveys. But yeah, you'll get maybe about like 2 surveys per week. No referral bonus for this one, but still a good site. Only thing is it takes about 3 weeks to get your gift card, which really annoys me. Final one is Swagbucks. So my mom uses this one like 99% of the time. Swagbucks is also pretty good paying in terms of surveys. They also have their trivia thing, SB Live, which is not really about making money because you'll win about 10 cents per game, but it's really fun. You also have games you can play for Swagbucks, SB, Swagbucks point, whatever, as well as cashback on a ton of stores. They even give you money for receipts and like buying certain things. I don't really know how that works, but yeah. Swagbucks is amazing, and I know both my parents have made a ton of money on it, so I definitely recommend you check it out. Referral link, it is in the description. There are other survey sites out there, but always read the reviews and choose what works best for you. Number 10. Scan receipts for a tiny bit of extra cash on your purchases. You might be making all this money, so make sure you scan your receipts to get a tiny bit back. When I say tiny, I mean super tiny. Like 2.5 cents back per receipt on Fetch Rewards. But it takes about no effort, and over time can actually give you a tiny bit of cash. Fetch Rewards is one of the ones I use, as I said. 2.5 cents back on any purchase. But they also have like offers for different products and give you bonuses for buying certain brands. They even have games you can play for even more points too. And they usually have they always have bonuses going on for those games. And they recently added online shopping to their mix of ways to get paid. Love this app. It has tons of options for gift cards. It takes like up to 3 days to receive your gift card. I've never actually redeemed a single gift card on Fetch Rewards, which I just realized, but oh well. Receipt Pal is another one I use. You get 25 points on each receipt because you get 100 points for every 4. They also have sweepstakes going on all the time, and you get entries just by scanning receipts. You can also get points for scanning e-receipts, and it's super easy to link those accounts and gives you extra points for scanning them every week, and you get points for the receipts they find the scan gets to. It's less points to get a larger gift card, but super easy to do. Like, it's 2,200 points for a $5 gift card, and then it's like, 4,250 points for a $10 gift card. And it just goes like that. The larger the gift card you want, the less points it is. So, number 11. Make money by making and selling handmade items. I mentioned this earlier, but now I'm going into a bit more detail. I love making things like hand-knitted items, soaps, bracelets, coasters, the like. These are sellable items. People buy these kinds of things all the time. Plus, handmade items can sell for so much money. You just have to make sure there are no mistakes. But this is a great way to make money off having fun, doing things you love. I can't do this now because my mom said I should focus on school and not money, like school, soccer, those kinds of things. But I really want to do this in high school to try and save money for college. Because college is expensive, guys. I think it would be super fun to do and really easy as well. Another really good idea is to do like customizable handmade stuff. This could take a decent amount of time, but handmade stuff already makes so much money. And customizable things, like they sell for like 5 times more than a customized blanket sells for like 3 times more than a normal blanket. Like so much money. And it doesn't even take like a super long time considering the extra money you're gonna make. Number 12. If you're really strong in writing and have good grammar skills, freelance writing might be a good fit for you. Or if you like writing on or that kind of stuff, sites like Fiverr and Upwork can connect you with clients. Most freelancing websites are restricted to those who are 16 or 18 and older, but Fiverr is for those 13 and up. Possible jobs can include writing a blog post, editing a podcast episode, or logo designing, depending on the skill set you publish. Freelancing provides flexible hours, the ability to set your own rates, and a market for pretty much any skill you can think of. Great place to start. 13. Become a product tester. Now, you do have to be a bit older for this one, 16 and up, but it's still a good job that can pay up to $32 per hour. So, companies are releasing new products on a daily basis and need people to test and review these so they can get opinions on how to improve these products. These market research companies need to know if their product will be successful because obviously they don't want to waste the money on something that's not going to be successful. So, you get sent some products, test them out, and then answer surveys or write an online review and get paid for it. Bright side to product testing is that you, most of the time, get to keep the products you test out and can even resell them online for even more money. Okay, so those were all the ideas I had for you guys on how to actually make money as a young person without getting an actual job. Hope this helped you. Now, I wanted to talk about saving money because you're probably making a bunch of money right now and you just don't want to blow it all on stuff. So, how do we save that money we make? Okay, number one. So, let's just say because you're making money, maybe a couple $100, I don't know, okay? Invest that money. Investing money is so much better than just putting money as a savings account because if you do the latter, that money is going to lose a ton of its value going down the line, like 15, 20 years. So I saw this short a while ago, and there were two sons. Once they turned like 13 or something, their father would give them $100 every year for New Year's to save up. One son decided to put his money into a savings account every year. The other son decided to invest his money into various stocks. 30 or so years later, when the sons went to take out this money for retirement, the son who put his money in the savings account lost about 90% of that value. But the son who invested his money, its worth had about tripled. That's why it's so important to invest, because when you invest it, you gain more money. So you don't risk the value of the money going down. Plus, an easy thing to do is invest in a mutual fund. It's a way of investing your money and it's like a long-term stock. A mutual fund is like basically a bunch of different stocks like Amazon, Walmart, Tesla, I don't know, popular stocks. But it's combined into one stock. Basically a bunch of popular stocks combined into one. That's the best way to explain it. I don't really know how to explain like money stuff, but yeah. Great place to start if you're young. Number 2, budgeting is super important. It might not exactly matter so much in your teenage years when your parents pay for everything, but once you start having bigger money responsibilities like a car, phone bills, student loans, budgeting is going to become a really important skill to know. Even if you don't necessarily use it now, it's a good skill to know for the future. If you feel like you're spending too much, making a budget might help you figure out where that money is really going. Budgeting can also help you plan for big long-term goals, such as buying a car or going to college. So at least learn about it. Number 3, use cash instead of credit cards. This works sometimes as a way to actually see the money you're spending. I know this is true for me because even though I don't have a credit or debit card, I feel like if I were to use one, I would probably end up spending a lot more than if I were using cash. Because with cash, you can visually see, like, this is a $10 bill. I am spending $10. This is a $5 bill. I'm spending $5 more. So you can visually see how much money you're spending. And, like, it's harder to give up cash, honestly, like, in my opinion. But with a card, you can only see numbers and don't really think about the purchase and the money you're losing through it. Unless always using cash and just having it lying around is going to tempt you to spend it, try to avoid using cards. If you want to still build a good credit score, something you can try is asking your parents. If either of your parents have a good credit score, then ask them to add you as an authorized user on their card. That way, when you get a credit card for yourself or apply for a loan or something like that, their good credit history will be reflected on you. Number 4, make saving a bit of every amount you earn a habit. I don't really do chores for money anymore, and I don't know why, but it's probably because if I ever need any money for anything, my parents will give it to me, so long as I explain what it's for. When I used to do those chores, I would always save about half of it. If I got $10, I would save $5 to $7, and the rest goes towards spending. Once again, I rarely spend my own money on stuff because I'm still really young, and my mom's probably going to treat me like this until I'm like 35. Okay, well, maybe that's an exaggeration, but still, I love my mom though. But anyways, sometimes my parents borrow cash from me and for stuff, and that's why I always have like $5 to $10 on me at any given time, and on vacation like 50. But always save a good portion of your earnings and make that a habit. Number 5, if you're a college student, take advantage of those student discounts. Lots of places actually offer student discounts, but not a lot of people know about them. For example, not a lot of people know if you show your student ID at Chick-fil-A, you get a free small drink at certain locations. Do your research. Especially now, everything is super expensive, and college students have always been living on a shoestring budget. So taking advantage of those discounts can make paying for school expenses a lot easier. Number 6, probably the simplest of them all, 50-30-20 rule. Search up money saving tips on Google, and one of the first things that comes up is the 50-30-20 rule. This rule is super simple and super effective. 50% of your earnings go towards your needs, such as rent, groceries, and your car payments. Stuff like that, which are basic living necessities, your needs. This is essentials only. The 30% goes towards spending or big expenses you want to save for. For example, you don't necessarily need a new dress for a party, but it'd be nice if you could get that new dress. Or a couch. Or let's say you want to save for a down payment on your first home or something like that. A money goal. That's what the 30% goes towards. That 20% goes towards savings. Put it in a savings account or invest it. So if you're starting from ground zero with finances, this is a great place to start, and then modify it to work for you. Like if you want to include a certain amount to donate to charity you really love, or a retirement fund, or a 401k, then you can start with the 50-30-20 and add more or reduce stuff, Number 7, set up a separate savings account. If saving money is that much of a struggle for you, then set up a separate savings account. Set up an auto transfer on whatever account your earnings go into, and then set it up so whenever you get your paycheck that same day, money is automatically deposited into that separate savings account and set aside. You have to make sure you can't touch it though. Don't set up a credit or debit card to take money out of that account. Make it untouchable. That way, the money just kind of disappears and you can kind of forget about it. Hide it from yourself. Number 8, utilize cashback apps to your advantage. My mom has accounts in multiple cashback websites and saves a ton of money on purchases. Like on some apps, you can get even up to 30% cashback on some purchases. Plus, for first timers, you can get even more cashback on certain websites, and there are welcome bonuses too. Just make sure you only use legit ones. Cooper is one I love. You get Cooper Gold back on your purchases and can cash that out for gift cards. You can also check in daily to get more gold and check out some websites to get more gold. Super easy to use, plus the Chrome extension just makes life easier. Cooper will also automatically test coupon codes for you to save the most money. Love it. Swagbucks is also great, really great, mentioned it earlier. Be Frugal is another one a lot of people don't know about, but gives good cash back and has varying welcome bonuses. Top Cashback, another great one. It's any store you can name and no minimum payout limit. My mom got a ton of cashback on this one. The last one is Cashback Monitor, which is basically like a database where you search up the store you want cashback on, and it shows you which sites will give you the most cashback or points on credit cards or different or a traveling thing like travel points. I don't know. My mom uses this all the time to figure out which site is going to give her the best cashback. Only thing is, if you have Swagbucks, which my mom does, my mom has to check this and Swagbucks and also Be Frugal. Because apparently, those two, as far as I know, there could be other sites that don't show up on Cashback Monitor. Those two won't show up on Cashback Monitor. So that was all my tips on saving that money. I hope this helped you. Now, to end our episode today, I have a quote for you guys from Steve Jobs. The quote goes, "My favorite things in life don't cost any money. It's really clear the most precious resource we all have is time." Bye, guys. Rate, review, follow, and share this podcast. Go drink some water, and I love you all.